Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks, and this evening I'm joined by...
Hey Bob.
And we've just been playing 1754 Conquest, I think it's called, which is the, as you can see, it's subtitled the French and Indian War. So it's a map of Canada stroke America, kind of East Coast, and you can see there's lots of cubes everywhere, which represent different factions of different armies. So the red ones represent the British, the white ones are kind of Americans, I think, of some kind. The yellow ones are the Canadians, aren't they? The purple ones are the French. So there's kind of two sides, effectively. There's the reds and the whites, and then the greens and the purples. And the green ones are the Native Americans, who are, they kind of fight with whichever side gets to them first. Now, the way you play the game is quite interesting. You have this nice bag, and you're pulling cubes out of the bag to determine player order. So if we get rid of these for a second. So it might be the first one you pull out is yellow, and that would go on here on the turn sequence. And that means yellow would go first, and that was A-Bomb because he was playing the French and Canadians. So he would kind of take a turn. I'll explain how that works in a second. And then you'd pull another one of these cubes out of the bag, and this time it's purple. So he gets another turn because he's also got the purple guys. So you keep drawing them out. The red and white are obviously my guys. When the green cube comes out, though, it adds extra Native Americans. So in this case, because it's the cross here, you'd be taking some green cubes, there's a whole pile of them here, and you sort of add them to the appropriate cross areas on the map. You see there were some here, so you'd add some there. And where's the other cross gone? Oh, it's in Delaware. And if one of your troops is already there, you kind of claim them, or on your turn, you could potentially move in here, and then these guys will join your army. You persuade them to join your cause, and then you can go off and fight with them. Now, as you probably guessed, it's effectively a conquest game. You are trying to conquer as much territory as possible. You can see there are these stars on the map. At the start of the game, the British and the Americans have got the sort of red area, and the French and the Canadians have got the kind of purple area, and the natives, as I say, sort of keep appearing in the green area, and you're trying to grab them onto your side and then conquer the opposing territory. We have these little markers to indicate who controls. You flip it when the other person controls. At the end of the game, whoever has the most of these markers is the winner. But how do you actually take a turn? Well, let's say the dice has been removed from the bag and it's my turn. You have a hand of cards, and there are some event cards that can modify things. So you can play these frequently. So in this case, I can place a fort marker in a particular area with a fort symbol. So you can see there's a few of these fort markers, and they provide a bit of extra defense in battle. But then typically you're going to be playing one movement card. So let's say I play this movement card, and it lets me move 3 of my armies 2 spaces. Now, although this was like white's turn, they're on the same side as red. So as long as there's a white in a place, they can activate that one. So I could move this as an army, and it could move 2 spaces, and maybe go up here and reinforce this place. But I couldn't move this one, even though red is on my side, because it's white's turn, I can't move them. So that kind of restricts it. You've got to be quite careful about where you're putting things. But movement's pretty straightforward. You can see all the dotted lines. You're just kind of moving things to various places. And when you move into an opponent's territory, if I decided to move this slot into here, then we have a fight. And there's a bunch of different coloured dice, although you are quite limited by the numbers of the dice. So regardless of like how many cubes to a certain extent, you can never roll more than, for the red, they can never roll more than 2 dice. The white player has 3 dice to roll, and it's fairly straightforward. If you get a hit, this will kill 1 enemy cube. If you roll a runaway, then the white guys keep running away all over the place, so they kind of go to the flee area. And this lets you move effectively. So you can just leave it to do nothing, or if you decide the battle's not going your way, you can use it to retreat one of your guys and move them out of the way. The defender always rolls first and does the hits, and then the attacker gets to roll the dice and do the hits. But effectively, you're just rolling them. But you can see if A-Bomb here had the 4 green ones, there's only actually 2 green dice, so he can't roll more than 2 green dice despite the fact that he's got quite a few in there. So you keep losing them, and you keep fighting until there's none left on one side. Whoever's left then wins and sort of claims the territory. One other thing I haven't mentioned is at the start of your go, you actually get reinforcements. So you know I said the people kind of ran away here. At the start of your turn, there are certain kind of reinforcement areas here, and all the people who ran away kind of get to join on one of the reinforcement areas, and you get to add a couple of extra cubes as well. So lots of attrition, but you're kind of gradually putting them back and trying to conquer as much territory as you can. As I say, at the end, the person with the most stars is the winner of the game. What do you think?
Okay, it's very much a dice-heavy area fighting game, and it goes back and forth. Almost feels a little risky at times, where there's just a lot of dice rolling. There's a little bit of strategy, but most of the cards are generally the same. It's how many armies you move and how far. The events will add in a little bit. If you already played 1775, this is basically identical to it. There's a few little tweaks to the rules. They don't tweak it to make it better, they're just different. So I think if you've got 1775, and unless you absolutely desperately need a new map to play it on, I wouldn't go for this. If you haven't played 1775 and you're looking for a very dice-heavy fighting game, this or 1775 would work. You could either go for either one, whichever one's the cheapest, to be honest. Yeah, it's generally it's okay. It's okay. Not my favourite two-player game.
Rating?
I'd probably give it about a 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, I like the basic idea. There are a lot of dice being rolled, which is good in one sense and not in another sense. It can be quite swingy. You know, you have these big battles where you pile up all your cubes and you roll loads of them and all your guys run away. It's like, oh, what are you doing? I need you to fight. Or they just all get killed by your opponent. So that can happen. But equally, because you're rolling so many dice throughout the game, the luck kind of balances out overall. You can never really guarantee any one particular battle, but overall the dice should balance. So I think that's fine. The strategic in terms of the positions moving out of the different territories is interesting because of the unusually shaped areas, if you like. You've got to think quite carefully about how you're going to move. And it's quite restrictive in terms of, you know, I was saying you've got two people on the same side. So you can play it 2v2 or 1v1 and one person takes two sides. But you've got to think about, I need to be able to move this army, so I need people from both in there. So in combat, when people are dying, it's like, although the white guys, like the white dice aren't as good as the red dice for attacking, but actually sometimes you might want to leave a white guy in there so that you can then move it when it's white's turn. So things like that are interesting. So it's a little bit different from other kinds of games that I've played. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was 1754 Conquest.